hoping there's some kind of a stand for me so that I can have my hands free.
The World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, is the United Nations agency in charge of the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. My guiding principle is always to help people engage in dialogue and try to understand each other's point of view. I do my best to help them get together, overcome their differences, achieve mutual understanding, and come to a realization that peace is the greatest good in life. UNWTO's membership includes 158 countries, 6 associate members, and over 500 affiliate members, representing the private sector, educational institutions, tourism associations, and local tourism authorities. The number of tourists in the world keeps growing. Relations between countries and visa policies are becoming easier. All this gives the world an opportunity for economic development and tourists a chance to travel more. Destinations worldwide received over 1 billion international tourist arrivals between January and September 2018. 56 million more than in the same period of 2017. Tourism could make a significant contribution to developing our economy further. We have never developed infrastructure that would allow our tourism industry to grow. Organizing tourist trips to Jordan promises much, at least for Christian pilgrims. At the site of Jesus Christ's baptism, there's a guest house built for pilgrims by the Russian Orthodox Church. Austria is a very safe and stable country with breathtaking landscapes. We work hard to protect our environment, preserve the unique and stunning nature of the Alps for future generations, and of course, give tourists the chance to visit our beautiful country today. The Bulgarian government is making great efforts to develop tourism, which accounts for a huge share of the Bulgarian economy, already well over 10%. Many tourists have been visiting us lately. Over the last 3 years, we've seen a major growth in tourism. There is no other country more attractive today than Argentina. This is due to the changes the country is undergoing. Besides, its capital is a city that is hard to beat in terms of cultural values. All regions enjoyed an increase in international arrivals, led by Asia and the Pacific, up 7%, followed by Europe and the Middle East, both up 6%, Africa up 5%, and the Americas up 3%. Nowadays, cooperation between countries is exemplified in the development of tourism. A huge number of tourists visit Sri Lanka every year. Our tourist season is in the summer, when the number of tourists is at its maximum. But we have so many places worth visiting, and many weather-friendly opportunities, which make off-season a great time to visit too. UNWTO generates market knowledge, provides competitive and sustainable tourism. It fosters education and training in tourism and works to make tourism an effective tool for development through technical assistance projects in over 100 countries. In 2019, we plan to develop the UNWTO Academy. We've announced the first competition for innovation in the field of tourism and have already received over 2,000 interesting projects from around the world. The final key is investment. Education, innovation and investment give us an opportunity to achieve our main goal, generating employment. The tourism sector accounts for 10% of the world's GDP. 1 in every 10 employed person in the world is involved in this sector.
Now you see the blue circle which says 80%. What does that mean? What I want to present to you is that we must remember, out of all these tourist arrivals, out of all these tourism income, what is important is that as high as 80% of the traffic on the issue of over-tourism, because it is a worldwide discussion, over the course of last 1 year or so, UNWTO has produced 2 studies as position paper. Not only that, on a global basis, we also did 1 survey on the overall issue of over-tourism. And as we speak, we are doing another ongoing study, taking Asia and the Pacific as the focus. So today, whatever I'm going to cover are basically the major selling points of these 2 reports, and as well as the ongoing study and the just finished survey questionnaire that we have done. We were actually obliged to address the issue of over-tourism because if you look at the slides, it has caught the world attention. And I put a few figures over there for you guys to look at. It is a hot topic. If you Google it, you will find that some 500,000 entries and headlines are related to the very wording of over-tourism. This is not enough. It's a worldwide issue because half of our people live in an urban environment, and that's why over-tourism is a hot topic for us to discuss. But of course, when it comes to international tourism, you already heard, it's 1.4 billion as we speak, and this will increase up to 1.8 international tourist arrivals by the year 2030. So it is not only going to be an issue, but it will continue to be an issue that will be hotter as we grow. So for us, it is very important for us to understand what are the context issues relating to over-tourism, and that's why I use the word, we need to frame it. We need to frame this whole over-tourism under certain context so that we can address the issue from the right perspective. This is actually a survey that we wanted to, first of all, get a feel from ordinary residents as well as from ordinary travelers as to how and what they say about this concept of tourism, or overall what they say about the overall concept of tourism. What we actually discovered, if you look at this plus and minus, 50% see tourism actually as a positive impact. What does it mean? It means half of the entire population say tourism is good. Unlike many of the debates, and especially by the politicians, especially by the opposition parties of cities, they say tourism is too much, and tourism is actually affecting extremely negatively on cities and on local residents. It is not really true based on our survey that most of the people say, number one, tourism is good, and number two, we need to improve tourism. But none of these people say tourism is bad. I know this is very layman's language, but it actually says a lot about this. It is only from this starting point, then we started to wake up. We say, wait a second, do we really agree with the word over-tourism? or do we have to address the issue as a question of how to manage the growth? And this is where our entry point is, and also where our conclusions have been drawn. Based on how to manage the growth rather than tourism or not tourism, we actually carried out some case studies of 18 cities around the world. And 3 of them were related to Asia, the context. So I wanted to cite some of the conclusions from this particular report relating to Asia. We actually look at the city of Seoul, because in the case of Korea, South Korea, most of the volume actually landed in the metropolitan city of Seoul. Not so much 3. Number 1, you must have heard about Indonesia, that they don't want only 1 Bali, but they wanted 10 Balis. And that is a typical measure to go beyond Bali as part of the dispersal strategy. Your own country as a destination, you are no longer only receiving them in Phuket, in Pattaya, in all of these. Your typical example of go local, I would cite an example of OTA, one village, one product, long time ago. That is actually what you have been doing already, and I don't think I need to tell you what is that go local strategy. I think your former minister and your current minister also very much keen on disperse the traffic to your Isan area, and that's why 2 or 3 years ago we were celebrating our World Tourism Day in the city of Gonggan. I cannot pronounce that word. Gonggan. That is part of your dispersal strategy in order to go beyond the gateways of Bangkok, in order to go local. And finally, I wanted to give you the example of Cambodia, because everyone is crowded in Siem Reap, in Angkor Wat. But now the government is trying to develop other destinations, typically the Sihanoukville, in order to have coastal development to divert the traffic into other parts of the same destination of Cambodia. And of course, we have the local. I'm being warned that time is out. And the last example is Japan. Now, don't think that all these dispersal strategy is something that will be imposed by the government to your destinations. No, actually there are incentives in order to do so. In the case of Japan, for instance, a few years back, they had the earthquake. Now they need to recover the earthquake in the northeast part of Tohoku, that region. And that is the stimulant for them to actually disperse from Tokyo, from Kyoto, from Osaka into other parts. 2, another incentive, in the same area, they have beautiful Japanese gastronomy, and that is the revival of their own food. So that is, again, it's about incentive. It's not only about imposing by the government. And my final point is that we're not talking about whether we agree with over-tourism or not. What we are talking about is that we need to continue to take pride in what we are doing. It's a noble cause, it's a people's industry, it's the industry that benefits all. Thank you.